Hi, I'm Sherry Seagroves with the Orange County Master Gardener Volunteer Program. In this video, we will explore the steps involved in designing a rain garden for your property. With increasing urbanization and forests being cleared for development, water runoff from impervious surfaces has increased dramatically over past decades. These high levels of rainwater runoff create a host of problems and contribute to flooding, soil erosion, and pollution in waterways. While it may seem like a huge problem, there are cost-effective ways that homeowners can decrease water runoff on their properties that also enhance the value and beauty of their home and landscape. One of the best ways to limit runoff and improve water quality is by installing a rain garden. So what are rain gardens, and what makes them different from other gardens? Rain gardens collect water runoff during heavy rains, allowing the water to soak into the soil, whereas water gardens include ponds and water features that recirculate the same water and hold water continuously. Rain gardens benefit the environment in several ways. They filter pollutants and fertilizers that would otherwise enter local waterways. They prevent soil erosion and replenish groundwater by allowing runoff to seep into the soil. They also provide food and shelter to native birds and pollinators. There are several benefits to having a rain garden as your landscape. Not only are they beautiful, but they attract beneficial birds, butterflies, and insects. They decrease flooding and move water away from your home's foundation. They also replenish soil moisture, and they are more cost-effective and easier to maintain than lawns. Master Gardener volunteers Linda Davis and Arlene Rodriguez interviewed Justin Harcum, project engineer with the City of Raleigh.
No, just kind of want to reiterate the reason these rain gardens are popular with the Rainwater Rewards program, I believe, is that they will fit on most properties, and that they're not hard to maintain. There's probably the two big takeaways, and I guess I'll also say that they're not very high cost. These features are not super expensive. There's not a whole lot involved with them. I know that some folks have even done a DIY project, but however, there are most landscape contractors are able to install something that we've talked about today. As for your question about behind me, this is a project that the Rainwater Rewards program supported. It is at the intersection of Crabtree Boulevard and Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh, North Carolina. It is a commercial property that has one large, we would call here probably a bioretention, but it also has 6 island bioretentions throughout the parking lot to capture smaller drainage areas within the parking lot. So there's really 7 features here, all supported by the Rainwater Rewards program. So really good example if you're ever traveling the Capitol Boulevard corridor.
This picture is a great representation of the anatomy of a rain garden. From the inflow of the water to the left, to the depth of your garden in the center, to the gradual side slopes to the right, followed by your mulch layer and your berm to catch the overflow of water. Some initial planning is important to maximize the benefit and function of your rain garden. And like we all want to do, avoid unnecessary expenses. First, determine how large and deep your rain garden needs to be based on the factors shown. We'll cover each of these in more detail. Step 1. Where to locate your rain garden. First, observe patterns of water runoff on your property during a heavy rain. Place your rain garden downhill between the source of the runoff and where the water leaves your property. Make sure to place the rain garden at least 10 feet from your home and 25 feet from septic systems and wellheads. And make sure to call 811 before you dig. Step 2. Determine how quickly your soil absorbs water. By conducting a simple filtration test, you'll be able to determine the amount and type of soil amendments that you need, or if underground drains are needed to improve drainage in heavy clay soils. There are several filtration tests that you can perform, but the easiest is to simply dig a hole and determine how much water drains out of the hole in 24 hours by following the calculations shown. Step 3. Determine the volume of water flowing into your garden. An effective rain garden should be about 10% of the impervious surface. To determine the rough area of the total impervious surface, measure the length and width of the surface. You can use the calculation shown or tap into the Rain Garden Alliance calculator at the link provided. Step 4. How much will your rain garden cost? Well, cost ultimately depends on several factors: the size and final design of your garden, the types of plants you use, the soil texture, and if you need to install an under-drain system. Before building, make sure to conduct a soil test to determine the composition and acidity of your soil. It's simple to do, and it will save you money in the long run. Use the link provided to submit your soil for testing. So you've selected your site for your rain garden, conducted a water filtration and soil test, you've calculated the volume of water flowing into your garden, you've set a budget and created a design. So what's next? Well, let's start building. The first step is to prepare your site. Decide if water will flow over the landscape or through an underground pipe to reach your garden. Outline the final shape and remove topsoil to about 12 to 24 inches deep. Step 2 to preparing your site. Enrich your soil. Rough up the bottom of your native soil. Mix in topsoil. Amend with compost, and refer to the results of your soil test for any further amendments. Step 3. Form a berm and overflow zone. At the entrance, create a border of grass or rock to slow the water flow into your garden. At the exit, build up soil to create a berm to slow water from leaving your garden. Make sure to create an overflow zone in your berm to channel excess water away once your garden fills. Now that your site is prepared, you get to choose your plants. Make sure when choosing plants that you select plants that will thrive in the conditions for your site. Check the hardiness zone, the moisture zone, and the sunlight, and start with plants with well-developed roots. When selecting and planting, make sure to check the moisture zone in your garden. Zone 1 is the wet zone, and it's the deepest section of the garden. Zone 2 is the middle or moderate zone, and it's along the slope of your garden. And Zone 3 is in the upper area, and it's the driest zone of your rain garden. When researching information on what to plant in your rain garden, you'll find many sources that recommend using only native plants. And indeed, native plants have many benefits. But don't rule out using some non-native cultivars. If you choose to use non-native species, be sure to avoid any that are invasive or spread rapidly. Plant design and layout is certainly a personal preference. However, following some basic guidelines will help you create a visually appealing rain garden. Here we've shown you a few principles to follow. We also invite you to click on the link provided to tap into the North Carolina Extension Gardener Plant Toolbox for more information. Here are just a few examples of the many plant options for rain gardens receiving different amounts of sunlight. Landscape design and plant preferences vary widely by individual taste. Yay, your rain garden is done. A little tender loving care the first year after planting will ensure your hard work is rewarded for many years to come. Make sure to follow these steps as shown to have a successful and beautiful garden. Your rain garden will require routine and ongoing maintenance. Make sure to follow the suggestions as shown, and also take some time out to really enjoy all of your hard work.